Welcome one and all, Nyanko here, and today I want to talk about a anime favourite of mine called The Devil is a Part-Timer, or Hataraku maou-sama. Now, as plenty of you know, this was like pretty much a cult classic back in the early 2000s. I mean, it's funny, it's a reverse isekai, I think it ticks all the boxes for epic anime that everybody loves but wasn't nearly long enough. And I mean, it does have a season 2 now, hence why I am talking about the first season, because I can't really talk about the second season until it's all out and I have seen it all. But yes, Lord Satan becomes a worker at McDonald's. I think it sounds pretty funny in and of itself, because like we're so used to isekai where it's like human gets sent into magical world, becomes like super OP, and has like a harem of girls. Whereas this is just basically like super OP character gets transported into our world and has to learn to live with his magic dwindling and basically no magic at all. So he's like huge OP character who can do nothing. So he gets a part-time job at a McDonald's to make ends meet and pay for his friend Alciel and him to stay in their apartment so that they don't starve to death. Which is quite funny, because Alciel does try but can't keep down any form of job at all in our world. So yeah, I just wanted to like chat about that quickly. I really like how it goes about like the trope of, usual isekai stuff. Now, I have a few favourite isekais, to be fair. The which will probably come up later in other videos. But for me, I was starting to get kind of really bored by the isekai genre back when maou-sama came out. There'd been like several at that point. There was Sword Art Online, and there was like No Game No Life, and there was like a long list, and I didn't actually watch many of them. I saw a few, but then after the few I'd seen, I kind of got a bit bored of them. Just because it all felt very samey and stuff like that. And then I found maou-sama, and I watched the first episode thinking, oh no, this is just going to be another, isekai. I'm not going to like it that much. It's just going to be, boring and generic. And then I got to the end of episode 1 and I was like, wow, okay, that was good. I enjoyed that. That was funny. And so I kept going with it. And I like how basically you're made to think that Mao is this big evil demon who just wants, death and destruction. And then the more you get to know him, the more you realise he's actually not a bad guy. And you start to question everything that Emmy is saying in it, which is great. Also, Mao is like super cute, and like he's technically like ageless, so you can have a crush on him no matter what age you are. Mao is the working up the ranks at McDonald's, takes his job really, really seriously, and basically everybody kind of relies on him. And then you've got Chiho, or Chi, who is his colleague and love interest. Now, I love Chi. I think she's a sweetheart. She's a little bit jealous and a bit on the tsundere, bordering on yandere, borderline. But it's alright. I mean, she can sometimes be a bit difficult in large doses to swallow, and I know some people, she's a divisive character in the fandom. But I feel the same about Emmy, who is also, in my mind, very tsundere. She's very, very yandere as well, but not in the sense of he's mine, stay away, very much in the sense of I will murder him, stay away, kind of trope. So I kind of find that, like, as you go along, Chi and Emmy do get better and they become more tolerable. But I do think that Chi's super over-possessiveness of Mao off the bat, just because she has a crush on him, is a bit and then Emmy's kind of, you are the devil, I'm going to murder you no matter what, because I am the hero, is understandable because of her family situation and her losing her dad to the war with the demons. But at the same time, it's very much like, it wasn't Mao that murdered your father, it was Lucifer, who is a whole other kettle of fish, but I do still love him when he finally becomes like one of the good guys. So you can't really hate on him on Mao for the actions of one of his underlings. But Emmy does. And I mean, we probably all do. You hate the leader of the army. You don't really hate on the individuals in the army, I guess. But yeah, Emmy can be a bit hard to stomach at times. I do struggle with her. But I do like Chi, aside from her like super jealous possessiveness, which I don't think is something that we should be encouraging in teenagers. Then you have Susanoo, who kind of comes in and is like very the neighbour next door, very polite speech, very nice kimono, or yukata. Is it kimono? I think it actually is a kimono she wears. Who then turns out to actually be working for the bad guys, but then who becomes good. Like, there's loads of tropes like that. And then you have Alciel, who is Mao's like most loyal general, and he's desperate to protect him in this new world and find a way for them to either get their magic back to go home, or to find a way to get home from our world back to their own world. And I love how like Alciel especially hates Amelia, the hero, and he comes to tolerate her, but it's really funny how he's like, no, why is the hero in our house, sir? No, we cannot have that. And he gets very defensive of Mao, almost like a mother hen, which I find really funny. Then you have just like the interactions between them. Like, so Mao is very like laid back, very chill, you know, bar his I will work my way up the McDonald's food chain so that I can take over this world, which isn't so chill, but like that's his thing, is if he can become the best part-timer and then become a full-timer, he can then take over the world through a food service job. Which I suppose if he became the next CEO, he possibly could. McDonald's is probably just as like stacked with stocks and money as McDonald's is. No correlation between those two. So yeah, that's his thing. It's like, I don't actually want to go back home. I'm going to conquer this world instead. I like this world. It has manga, because he becomes a bit of an otaku. And then same with Lucifer. He kind of becomes a bit of a niche, but they have to keep him inside after the events of what happened like in the middle of the series, which I won't spoil because if you want to go watch it. But I mean, if you've not watched it at this point in time, it's been what, nearly 10 years since this was animated? Give me a second, I'll double check on the back of the box. Yeah, so it's been 9 years since it first came out. So if you haven't seen it by this point, I think the spoiler warning and ban is kind of mute at this point. So go watch it. But anyway. But yeah, it's really nice to see that like 9 years later, we've actually gotten a season 2 out of it as well. But yes, back to the main point. And they all kind of just like fall back into like domestic life. You know, Mao goes to work, Lucifer just spends his time shopping online at home with his computer, and Alciel is constantly hitting the library and trying to like research ways to go home. And then you've also got like the interactions of like Chi with Mao at work, and then also she comes over to his place a lot and they go out on a date actually, which is really sweet, which then kind of leads into the absolute mayhem that is Lucifer coming into it again, which is quite funny. I quite like that bit. Then you've also got like Amelia's interactions with Chi and with Mao as well, and like her slowly coming to realise that maybe Mao isn't such a bad guy after all, even though he's like the demon lord, the devil, you know, he who shall not be named. Which is quite funny. It's just like a really feel-good show. There are some like heartfelt moments in it as well, of just like pure that was heartbreaking for that character, and so you can understand. But it's interesting how they all develop and they grow and they learn along the way, and it never feels overly forced. Like the writing's really good. The animation I found for season 1 especially was epic. Like I said, I was getting a bit bored of like isekai, and this was in like the early 2010s, so like 2013, where the market was becoming saturated with isekai. And now, I mean, look at the market. You've got like, I can't even count per season how many isekai you got coming out. Like, guys, come on. can we mix it up a little bit? Like with maou-sama, instead of, this guy gets sent to this world, have it just be different. Fantasy worlds even, like I love fantasy worlds, but just isekai has got to, like, has it had its day yet? Well, I mean, obviously not, seeing as they've made a season 2 of maou-sama, and I'm not going to complain about more maou-sama. I will, however, complain at like more Sword Art Online or something, because I didn't like that personally, and some of the isekais are just starting to get like really, really like boring. I mean, don't kill me for that. I know some people love isekai, and I don't mind an isekai from time to time, but it's not my favourite genre of anime, unless there happens to be a very, very hot devil guy in it. maou-sama. I mean, we can all agree maou-sama is like husbando material. He's pretty hot. But yeah, season 2, I am really looking forward to this. I am hoping that they dub it, because I actually have only ever seen it in dub. Don't kill me. I used to watch it as I was revising for exams, so I had it on in English in the background, and I'd like revise away, and I fell in love with the voice actors, and I just couldn't bring myself to watch it in sub after that. So I'm really, really hoping that Funimation continue to dub season 2 with the same voice cast that they had in season 1, because that would be great. Well, you've got Josh Grell, you've got, oh wait, how many? There's a load of voice actors in them, in the, like, some of my personal favourites. So like, yeah, like I said, there's Josh Grell, I think there's Felig, I can't pronounce names, give me a second, I will find the names. So yeah, you've got Josh Grell as maou-sama, you've got Felicia Angeli, or Angel, as Emmy, who I really love. You've got Anthony Bowling as Alciel, again, love him. You've got Tia Ballard as Chiho, or Chi, again, really, and I know Caitlin Glass as well. She plays the voice of the regional manager, or the manager of the McDonald's, which is really cool. Aaron Dismuke is Lucifer, so again, like, you can't go wrong with that voice cast. It's just top tier English voice actors there, which I am big into a lot of those voice actors, because I went through a phase where I didn't like watching subs. I just wanted the dubs, because I was going through a phase of having chronic, like, debilitating, like, headaches that were bordering on migraines but weren't quite migraines, but they were still pretty debilitating, that when they hit I couldn't really stand light. Noise was fine, but light was a problem. So what I used to do was just put on like different shows with voice actors that I liked, English voice actors that I liked, close my eyes and just listen to the show, and then when I came back to them later on I would like watch it properly. So yeah, again, this was through that phase in my life, especially as well with exams. It was dubs or nothing for me, I'm afraid. And I do feel like, especially in maou-sama, you're not missing out on anything if you watch it dubbed versus subbed. Personal preference, they did a great job with the scripts, translating it over, and then the voice actors did a great job of keeping the essence of the character alive. So definitely recommend watching it in dubbed. Oh, I mean, hell, even sub. I mean, you can't go wrong with sub, and I do enjoy a lot of the voice actors who did the voice acting in the sub. It's just at the time when I was watching it, I couldn't read subtitles properly. So yeah, I'm really hoping that, like I said, they bring everyone back for season 2. That would be great. Come on, Funimation, start dubbing season 2. We need to watch this, and then bring it out on Crunchyroll, please. I really, really cannot express just how deeply the need is. This is not a want, it is a need in life to watch season 2 of maou-sama fully dubbed. Yeah, I just, like I said, I have the DVDs, I have some of the manga. I also have some of the high school manga that they did, which is really, really funny. I need to get more of that. Really, really like that. And I mean, it's fully finished now, so I'm hoping that we'll get a full adaptation of everything that happens in the light novels. Fingers crossed, because I have an inkling of how the story ends. I haven't actually spoiled it for myself yet. I do know that people were sending death threats to the author for how he decided to end his works, which I think is kind of pathetic. I get that your ship might not have sailed, but this is his creation. Who he decides to end up with who is none of your business. And I do find that really annoying in certain fandoms. If something isn't going the way you want it to, but how the creator has designed it to go in his work of fiction, they get angry and start like sending death threats and stuff. I know it happened in Darling in the Franxx as well, and I was just like, guys, like, it's kind of sad. You know, it's fiction. I don't see you writing these like gorgeous works of art that drag us into into another reality. So maybe start writing them yourself if you don't like how the author ends it. I mean, that's what fan fiction is. You can have whoever you want get with whomever you want, outside of what the author himself wanted, because it's fan fiction. So go write fan fiction. Don't send death threats. I mean, you shouldn't have to say that in 2022, should you? Sorry, I went on a tangent there. I'm very, very sorry. I don't mean to rag on anybody or hate on anybody. I just personally think that death threats over a fictional pairing is a bit out of order. So yeah, don't do that. Don't be a dick. But do be like maou-sama. Care for your friends, love your friends, do whatever you can to protect them. Maybe not trying to do genocide, but I do understand why Mao went to war with humans. We're not exactly the nicest people on the planet or in the universe. We can be pretty crappy, and everybody has to agree with that. We all know just how crappy the human race can be from time to time. So yeah, let's all try to be more like Mao. Friendly, supportive, protective, and maybe a little bit of world domination ain't too bad from time to time. As long as you're going to be a good world leader. But yeah, tell me what you think about Hataraku maou-sama or The Devil is a Part-Timer down in the comments below. I will watch the season 2 when it's dubbed and let you know what I think on that as well. So this will be a two-parter, hopefully. Comment, like I said, like the video to let me know if you like my content or this type of content. Subscribe to the channel would be great if you want to help support me. Yeah, that's about it. I love you all, my kittens. Have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Mwah! Ciao!